Hello, guys, and welcome to Behind the Bunker. It's Saturday night. It's our live quarantine show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I think it's Saturday night. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday night, so thank you guys for being here. Tonight we have a special guest, and we're going to continue this trend. We've had some great guests on the show for the last couple of weeks, and today we have Travis Lemanski. He is from Team Infamous, as well as, other kinds of places we'll find out shortly. Tonight with me, I have, let's look who's in the shop here. We have Matt the Crypt in the top right corner.
Hey, guys.
And Joe Kimson in the bottom left.
Greetings and thanks for tuning in.
And what about Gavin Sharma?
What about Gavin Sharma? Yes, Gavin Sharma is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, the quarantine show. Make sure you strap in your seatbelts and wear your helmets and make sure your arms and legs are in the cart until it comes to a complete stop. Because it's the quarantine show. We are here live. Make sure you hit like and share. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. And then who do we have in the bottom right corner? We have Travis Lemanski. How are you, sir?
What's going on, guys?
I don't know. I mean, we can say you're from Infamous, but you wear many hats, and I know that you've had lots of hats since we've known you. But
Yep.
What's sort of the Reader's Digest of what you're involved in?
Oh, God.
I know. I mean, you've got Amway, you've got
Secure.
So I guess I have three things kind of going on. I have Foundation. So when I sort of stepped back from the paintball world, when I worked for other companies, I had a non-compete to kind of sit out for a year. So I really kind of put everything into this company called Foundation, FNDN. That's kind of my wearable tech. We really do a lot of like heated apparel and that type of stuff. So anything from jackets, gloves, you name it. And then I was able to jump back into the paintball side of things. And so I had started, kind of my own brand, which I had, always been affiliated with Infamous. So I just took Infamous Paintball, the team, into Infamous Paintball, the brand. And then in that process, I got, sort of mixed in with the ProShar guys because, we need paint to shoot. And so ProShar was looking at coming to the U.S. They're a Russian manufacturer that makes paintballs, and they're really big over in Europe. So they were going to come to the U.S. So they were talking to me about the team. And then one thing led to another. And now I'm like ProShar USA here in the States. So.
Okay. So you got your hands in a few things.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, when we first met you, you were working for Key, and
Right.
You were in product development. Would that be fair to say?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, because I think at that time you guys had just released the BT line.
Yeah. So how I got involved with the whole Key thing goes even a step further back. I was working for JT USA in San Diego. And Gino Posterivo, currently a Valken, but was of National Paintball Supply, had hired me to come work at National, and he wanted to create his own brand. And basically at that time they were a distributor, so they only they carried everybody else's stuff and redistributed it. And the brand he had was Empire. So I kind of like headed up the Empire line, and then we got bought out by Key, and then. Obviously we were taking different looks at other parts of the world. We didn't have Tittman at that point, right? So we were looking at sort of a competitor to that line. Tittman was strictly guns, but we were looking at, how to fully embrace the scenario world. So we started BT.
That's kind of back when, like, you look at those years back then, there were so many paintball brands. Like I know with... sort of the decline of retail in paintball and sort of with some amalgamation of a lot of paintball companies, people have gotten rid of certain SKUs, and there's, they killed a couple product lines or absorbed ones. Like NXC was another one. I used to really like NXC, but when Tittman bought NXC and then Tittman was bought out, that was one of the lines that got expunged. But there was some really good product lines, Extreme Rage and Evil and BT. Joe, help me out. Think of some other, and not necessarily just with an Empire and Invert. Invert was its own line back then as well. But even think of some of the other companies too. There was
Well,
Proto.
there was custom products,
Proto.
barrels,
Yeah.
Proto, all that dye came out with a lower end company, which was Proto at the time.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat. But I remember being at Tippmann, I don't know, in 2004,
Spec Ops.
2005, Spec Ops out of Utah. But we were at Tippmann, and Jamie Chaney was one of the tech guys. And then Ben Tippmann was working there. Then I guess he had a falling out with someone at Tippmann, and he went over to I guess National, and then started the Ben Tippmann line. Then it all of a sudden came back to the Empire Key company. It's neat.
Yeah. There was, I mean, God, there was, and even JT was a standalone company. You know, who else?
They were in Chula Vista, California.
Brass Eagle was its own standalone company for quite some time as well.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Loader.
Jeez. So you've got this. So as far as foundation is concerned, so what is foundation? What that is? How can you sort of sum that up?
So we kind of consider ourselves like a wearable tech company, but our kind of claim to fame is this heated stuff, right? So yeah, he's got some heated socks there on the screen, but yeah, heated everything really, like heated jackets, heated scarves. You know, we're really trying to bridge the gaps on all the different garments. And then this year we actually launched a LED like running jackets. It's also heated, so we're trying to get into, you know, not be so seasonal and do some different stuff.
Actually, that's a really good idea, because even a regular running jacket that has you know, a fluorescent strip on it or those reflective strips on it, you're not seen until someone's car is directly in your path. And then at that point, it might be too late. So at least with, yeah, that's a really good idea. I forgot that I had seen that with you guys. Yeah, I have one of your heated vests. I wear it all the time in the winter. It's a great kind of middle layer. You know what I mean? It's not, you wouldn't wear it as your outer layer. My wife has the heated scarf. I mean, yeah, I mean, these things, you don't know how much of a wuss you are until after you've bought one of these, used one of these, and then gone without one of them. You know, working at the outdoor field on those cold winter days, or even just shoveling the snow or going for a walk, man, oh man, your quality of life just goes up when you got one of those things. I mean, the first thing that gets cold on you is you feel is in your chest. And when you've got a nice warm blankety feel around you, and you're, God, I sound like I'm a soft man.
Look at manly talk.
No kidding.
This product. What the hell?
No kidding. But it's
Travis,
true.
It's like gentle kisses all over your body.
Travis, do you do any? You do all the heated tech stuff. Do you do anything for the military? Are you at liberty to discuss it, or is that a hard?
Currently, no. I mean, I would say that there's a lot of people that do buy our stuff, but we don't have a government contract, so to speak. That would require a lot of different manufacturing options. So, but you know,
you don't want a military contract. It would be only for a couple onesie twosies here and there, anyways, right?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like retail in general is changing, so you have to really like focus on your strategies. Like, are you going to go the, you know, direct to consumer? Are you going to go the dealer wholesale model? Are you going to sell to Amazon? I mean, there's so many questions you have to ask yourself when you get into this world.
Yeah. And it's changing on a weekly basis. It's probably changed dramatic. It's changed dramatically in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
When we come out of, you know, what we're in right now, the whole retail industry and how things are done, not necessarily for clothing, but everything is going to be changed dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to go to Home Depot in this quarantine. I've had to go to several different stores, and legitimately, you order it online, you go sit in front like an idiot, you call the store, and they come out with a cart, and they don't want you out of your vehicle. They tell you to open your car door and walk away, and they'll load it for you. I mean, it's convenient, but it's not fun. Like, I want to go in and grab the merchandise, and do you know what I mean? Like, I want to choose it myself. We've been ordering from Walmart for some of our grocery items, and you get this email. It's like, okay, my grocery items are ready. I can go to Walmart and pick them up. And then you've got a long list of substitutions. Here you go. We don't have this, so, you know, we're going to give you the shitty stuff that we do have and replace it with the ones that you did want. And you've already paid for it, so thank you. Just come and get it and take it out of our store, please.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What are you doing with yourself during this quarantine? You're at home. You've got kids.
Yeah. So I have a separate section of my house. It's just like it's attached but not attached. Like I literally leave the house to go over to my office. And I've converted that. So it used to be kind of like an in-law suite where I had it, it's got its own bathroom and an upstairs like apartment and all this stuff. And I've literally converted it into a warehouse now so that during this time, we're not really deemed essential. So I can't have like our regular warehouse open and fulfilling orders and doing all this. So I just brought a whole bunch of paintball stuff here and I've just been fulfilling orders here. It's been a little crazy.
Yeah, at least you've got.
You take your kids to work with you?
Sometimes I have them carry packages to the front yard, and then they lose them half the time, and it's a disaster.
How old are your people? Are your workers or your kids?
Oh yeah, my warehouse team, they're 11, 8, 6, and 4.
So they're not old enough to form a union, but they're also not experienced enough to really do it 100%.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
An 11-year-old and an 8-year-old are probably employed offshore at certain plants, so that's not a stretch.
Yeah. Well, and the goofy thing is they're still in school, right? So during the week, like I want to pull over my 11-year-old and be like, "Hey, box this up," but she's got classes and stuff. It's terrible.
But how much? Okay, maybe it's different for us in Canada. Maybe Joe, you can answer this one. But I mean, my kids maybe spend at best a half an hour to an hour a day on their school. That's it. Joe, what about yours?
Milo's probably an hour or two a day, and then Parker's 3 or 4 hours a day. That's sort of what the province has mandated. But
wow,
it's tough.
And then they just announce no exams, and then all the work that they're doing doesn't necessarily count on their grade. So it's this weird sort of, they're penalizing them with school, but you're not benefiting by getting anything back from it.
Well, it's we don't get into whole quarantine talk, but it's not like this has been precedented before, right? They don't have a blueprint in terms of, hey, how do we manage this? So I think everybody, including schools, are doing the best they can with what they have. And that speaks to our paintball industry as well. I know, Travis, in the US of A, where you're situated too, it's a little different in terms of some fields are opening up. So there is some paintball going on. Are you seeing any traffic, any excitement?
Yeah, so we've sort of like I had to make a decision. Like going into this, it was a little scary. I'm like, okay, do I put the brakes on everything? Because we're like a growing brand. So we're trying to come out with new stuff constantly to keep in the limelight, whatever. And so I had a schedule of like new products like every few weeks. And, some of these things are a big deal to us. I mean, we're small, but it's, do I pump the brakes and like not launch stuff because I don't know if this pandemic thing is going to go months, 6 months, I don't know. And am I going to sit on this inventory and choke or what? And, but we decided just to charge forward. So we have constantly like new products coming out, and it's been good. I mean, obviously like there's online traffic is hot right now for us. And I've talked to other, dealers that we wholesale to, and they're all pretty busy right now. So that's a good sign as far as that.
Plus, when this is over, you don't want to be left with the only guy that doesn't have anything in his warehouse. Like that's my fear. Like I'm the last of the optimistic people here. And I fear that when, that the second that it's over, people are going to hit that switch and it's going to be instant rewind back to the time before it. And people are just going to, their memories are going to be wiped and they're going to go back and they're going to spend all the money that they were given by the government. Now, I know that's not right, but that's my fear. You know what I mean? That we're not going to be prepared for when we're allowed to be back in operation.
Right. Well, I'm an optimist, and I'm obviously super leaning on the like paintball side of things, but I just have a feeling that people have been cooped up and they've been inside their house. They've watched the entire internet. Like they're over Netflix, they're over video games, and we might be able to capture some of that, some of those people back in the outdoors that we lost to video games or whatever. So
yeah. Hey, George, hey, in the live chat wants to know, do you make heated jeggings?
We do.
There you go. All right, George. Yes. George Hayes, one of our viewers, and he's a, how can you describe his body type? Adonis, maybe?
Husky.
I don't know, maybe Adonis, husky Adonis, yeah. And he's very much wanting to buy some jeggings or some leggings, and this might be the case.
Might be able to kickstart him a pair of heated that he cannot offers 12 season wear.
George, I know George. He doesn't actually need a heated face anything. He's got a giant beard and he's very warm around the face.
He's got a small family of birds nesting now. That's his quarantine project. Oh, geez. So Infamous, what are they? How can I say this? So nobody's playing paintball right now. And there will be a time where paintball is going to happen again, and you guys are going to be expected to hit a national event and play. What are you guys doing as far as, like, are you mandating that people stay fit? Are you mandating that they somehow practice? Like, what, or can you even say anything?
Well, no, I mean, obviously at the pro level, like, let's face it, these guys aren't making livings off of being pro paintball for the most part. So I would say that these guys have a specific drive and there's something in them that they want to be the best in their craft. So, you know, a lot of these dudes already push themselves, get up, go to the gym, you know, ride bike, whatever it is that they do. I mean, Sewers is a trainer, you know what I mean? Like, so these guys are naturally, you know, in that mindset. So I don't really need to do much there. I would like to see more guys just, like, you know, if they can get another dude in their area and just play one-on-one or something just to keep the gun skills up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, before the quarantine, it would have been nice to be able to get a couple of air tanks full of air and a couple cases of paintballs. And even if they just did some snap shooting drills, and
right,
that's the hardest thing. I mean, Joe and I get messaged and calls about guys that just want air fills because they want to make sure that their guns are working. They want to, you know, put the last couple paintballs they have through their gun and maybe do some shooting. Nobody's really playing because no one really has places to play near us, but certainly that's been the big ask is, can we get air fills?
Yeah, they're probably like tinkering too, right? They're bolting on some new thing that they just bought and they want to test it out. So that's cool.
Yeah, and guys that are buying used equipment, even, they just want to make sure it works, and without air, what can you do? So how much time do you guys need before you guys feel comfortable going back to playing a national event?
I mean, I'll play right now. I'm ready to go.
Okay, being wanting to play and being ready to play.
Yeah, so I would say that because of the way the NXL works with the field layout release thing, they're naturally going to get those, 5-6 days of solid practice on that layout before the event, and that'll sharpen the sword a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think of this? Okay, so in Ontario, our leagues are going with blind layouts now. Up till last year, they were doing what NXL had done because they were kind of affiliate leagues. This year, they kind of said, screw it, let's do blind layouts. Let's go back to the OG way of having to go to the field and walk it. The only problem with that is back when that used to happen, people would physically have to go to the fields and walk it. But most leagues, including the one that I'm talking about, we broadcast Saturdays and Sundays. So if you're playing on Sunday, you can watch it on Saturday. Plus, you can go to the field and pre-walk it the day before and do all of your stuff. So the technology is different. Back when we used to do one-day tournaments and have to walk the field that day, that was a whole other different skill set. So there's a little bit of cheating right now going on. But what do you think? Would you like the NXL to go to blind layouts?
I would. I don't think that so I have my own theories because I've lived through all the peaks and valleys of this whole tournament thing. But I will tell you that when we didn't know the layout, we practiced as much, if not more. We practiced every weekend, and now we may just practice the layout weekends because it is expensive and we fly everywhere and we do all this stuff. So I think more paintball would be played if they didn't release the layouts. I also think it rewards creative players. So day one of any pro practice, you have guys flying around the field, trying all this different stuff, doing up and overs, see what they can get away with. And then by, the 5th or 6th day on the layout, it's all refined and tightened up and crossed up, and it's kind of lame. So I wish they would go back.
Yeah, would make it kind of fun from a field owner standpoint. Joe and I talked about this when we really like the fact that 2 weeks out we get a layout, and then for those 2 weeks prior to an event, we know we can count on the business that's coming. We already know how to set up the field. And when this whole thing came down, it was like, is that going to stop business? Are people going to get less practice in? But I think it's going to be the opposite. I think you're right, Travis. I think people are going to be a little more cautious, and they're going to want to get out and just practice those field skills.
Yeah, no, it's true. We played paintball. Like, we practice being a team. You practice communication, you practice gunfighting, everything. You're not just, hey, drill this breakout shot 100 million times till you don't bounce the guy.
Well, maybe your opinion's different, but I feel that when ramping and coaching and NXL kind of took over, not NXL, sorry, PSP, I guess, or X-Ball really took over, the quality of the player kind of went down because people were being just little robots and being coached. And now it's a little bit better because there's no more coaching anymore. But I don't know. I mean,
I comment on that. I think you hit the nail on the head where it definitely takes a lesser skill. But the problem is when they started X-Ball, you still had the guys at the top of their game that knew how to play real paintball. But then as those guys sort of retired or fell off, that's when we had this weird gap for like 5 years of dudes that were just kind of robots that didn't really understand how to play. But now they've killed coaching again. And now you have like true players that kind of understand it. Yeah. And it wouldn't take too much to fix it. But, that's why I'm like such a big proponent of like the 10-man stuff, the ICCs, the ICPLs, all that stuff. I just think that's like a pure form of paintball.
So Gavin used to ref a league that started up many years ago in Canada called the CXBL, and that was at the same time that X-Ball came out. So that was when we had the first taste of a coach on the field able to coach you, and guys in the pit able to coach you, and guys on the sidelines able to coach you. And I'm going to put words, I'll ask Gavin here in a second, but like, didn't it feel dirty? Like, as a player, I felt like I could now cheat. Like, it felt like we were cheating.
So from my limited experience, Travis, and you can take over this. The original X-Ball rules from Richmond, Italia was the coach was the only person allowed to speak, right? And so there was other coaches as well. They'd have to communicate directly with the coach, but the only person who would actually speak on the field to players was the coach itself. And so the evolution of X-Ball in terms of players not really liking that, things sort of got muddled and muddied and adapted over time. One of the things I did like about sideline coaching, if it was done correctly, is that it got the audience invested in the game and excited and actually felt like they were contributing to either the win or loss. And I think they could have really policed that a little bit better to restrict that solely to the stands versus people standing up against the mesh or like tape lines and basically having teams coach from the side. So
no, I want my big arrow sign and I want to jump up and down like a jackass.
But you know what? Because certain Richmond's concept was really to make it like almost like a hockey concept or like NASCAR, and it really, I think in its purest form, it really lended itself to audience participation. Whether people could hear that or not, with people screaming from the stands, I think that's part of the excitement too. If you think you're actually contributing to it, I think it sort of got bastardized when actually people were up against the mesh and the counter coaching and all that. So if I'm screaming from the stand like 15 feet away, as a player on the field, you're not hearing that anyway, right? And so, but as the audience member, I don't know that. I think I've really helped my team win, right? So, I don't know, Travis, you want to speak to that too? But I think I would like to see coaching again, but done in a way that's policed only from the stands versus up against a mesh or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is some like unknown old facts. When we first started this thing, I was basically Avalanche. So it was like me and Lasoya and Richardson and LB, and we were now Miami Effect, which is some random name team. I don't know. But this is when they start first putting this together. But now Aftershock was a bunch of old school dudes too. But when we would play them, even though coaching was legal and coaching was supposed to happen, we just had a gentleman's agreement. Hey, no coaching. So before the game, we would shake hands, no coaching, and just play our match like how it was meant to be played. I understand what you're saying with like crowd being able to cheer and this and that, but I've been burned so many times by like not just me or someone on my team or someone that pulls off this sweet move and like they're 3 steps away from a guy and the crowd goes wild and is going, he's coming, and they pop the top and it's a trade, and it shouldn't be. So in my opinion, it's weak.
But on the same token, I really like the fact of having, as Gavin says, the coach or the crowd being able to call audibles on the field. Maybe they can't be up at the mesh. Maybe they can't have signs, but I really love that because now when you go watch an NXL event, the crowd, you might as well be at Wimbledon. Everybody's quiet and everybody's just sort of static. People used to run crazy when they were able to speak. And to be honest with you, but on the field, I'll be honest with you, I've been burned before. I've been helped before, but you've got to have a pretty loud voice. It's got to be pretty distinctive, and it's got to be timed just right for it to be actually helpful, right? Like,
no, I disagree. The he's coming thing is almost impossible.
Okay, but I've been counter-coached as well with the same thing, right? Go ahead, Joe.
I remember coaching Eric Richards. We had a CXBL team, and it was like the pro version of Canadian paintball, and we'd have a guy, he'd be in the snake and he'd be shooting at someone. I'd be telling him the angle and where to shoot. He'd be able to lay behind the snake. We had it down to a science. It was quite spectacular, but and
I think towards the end of coaching too, it wasn't like, hey, listen to the crowd. It was listen to Jerry. He's in the audience. You know his voice. He's the one talking to you. That's our guy. So every team had a guy, and that's who you listen to. So it was.
But how do you hear him when you've got everyone else trying to drown you out? Do you know what I mean? Like, when I say crowd control, I mean, like, don't let anybody stand up to the mesh. You have to be in the bleachers, and the bleachers are legitimately, like, when you're at NXL, they're 20 to 25 feet away minimum to the edge of the field. And then from the edge of the field to the first player, you're still another 20 feet. I mean, those distinctive voices, I don't know. I mean, I get you, but...
Yeah, you have the number of people in the crowd and the churro guy, right? So, you're trying to compete with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't like coaching, but I do like the fact that the crowd could be participating. Somehow they're, yeah.
And for me, that part I thought, as sort of a proponent of paintball and like it to see it move to the next level beyond sort of just our niche market, I thought that was probably one of the best ways to do so, to make it exciting and make it more and more of a festival for those who pay their money and sit in the seats, right? They're actually think they're part of the game. Because I think about any other sport that I go to, professional sport, yes, there's heckling, some of it's coaching as well, right? But there is this element of participation where you feel invested in your team and you feel either you're helping or you're hurting. And I think that's sort of escaped now in paintball, other than just sort of like Todd alluded to, is sort of the golf clap, right? Well done, Johnny. You shot that guy really great.
Yeah,
the stands get pretty rowdy, especially in the finals on Sunday and that sort of time. I mean, before you even shoot the last guy that they're dead because the crowd goes nuts. You know what I mean? So yeah, it maybe during like prelims and this kind of stuff, it's pretty dead in there without coaching. But Sunday, it's wild. I mean, everyone's like could get knocked out in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Travis, question. We're talking about paintball. The history of paintball, the complete history of paintball that just came out. What made me think about that is you said you were on Team Avalanche with Chris Lasoya and everybody like that. But did you have an opportunity to watch the documentary?
No, in fact, it's been on my quarantine list of things to watch.
What are you busy?
Dude, it's just like I said, I'm doing the orders, shipping the order, running the warehouse. Camp Chaos leader, so it's been nuts.
But if you found 7 hours to watch Tiger King and you haven't found 2 hours and 52 minutes to watch the complete history of paintball, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
No, I'm a super fan of this thing, right? I was posting, I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to do it this week, and I've just been behind right now. So, but I am catching up. So this week will be the week I watch it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. And I just put it up on the screen. I'll put it up again here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a complete history of paintball. It's a full-length feature documentary film on exactly that, the history of paintball. If you wanted to know how it started, there's so many things in there that even we didn't, fully understand. Did you know there was people against, trying to go to Congress to get paintball abolished and banned? There's the whole journey of how it actually came to be. There's discussion of the first game and the second game, and who was the actual first winner of the first match. And the first game of paintball wasn't really a traditional game of paintball like a capture the flag. It was kind of a survival game, and that's kind of really how it started. And I'm not going to give anything away by saying this because we've already lived it, but go back and watch this documentary if you haven't already. As Travis says, it was awesome. I'm glad I watched it. Watched it as soon as it came out. Yeah, you definitely need to do so. I know it's what, like $8? What was it, $8 or $9?
13.
Yeah, John in the live chat says it was a great watch, and Devin Schwartz says loved the documentary. Great watch. Yeah, I guess we're kind of razzing you, Travis, but you definitely need to watch it.
I will for sure.
Yeah,
They definitely touch on the Avalanche sniper episode. So,
oh, good. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, and they named names, and mainly it was Travis, and it was all Travis. You'll have to, you might have to rebuke it. I don't know, but
there's reports of a whole special coming, another 2.5 hours just on that.
Ooh,
they've got cameramen knocking at your door and
ghillie suits.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Travis. When the world returns to normal, the light switch goes back on to go. What are you doing paintball related?
As in like practice, or are you talking just
all of the above? Like, what are you chomping at the bit? You know, you're smiling when you go to sleep, thinking this is what I want to do if we're okay to go ahead.
You know, to be honest, like I'm loving it. Like, this is my like kind of first full year doing my own thing in paintball, so I'm loving coming out with new products. I'm loving testing stuff with the team. I'm loving, you know, just being back in paintball in my own terms, really. So, you know, we have a slew of new products that we're sort of, I wouldn't say we're sitting on them, but I would say that this whole virus thing has everything sort of slowed down and gummed up a little bit. So we're just waiting to kind of have fun and attack the industry.
Yeah. Hey, in the live chat, Jonathan Rollman says the movie sucked. He says a bunch of recycled footage that you can find on YouTube.
Where's he going to find out about an interview with Charles Gaines? He's on crack.
I mean, I get, okay, yes, you can see some of that footage. Some of it's already been posted, but 90% of that stuff that's in the documentary you've never seen before. And plus the interviews with the guys. I mean, if you like the sport like we all do, it's interesting to hear it from the original people. You don't see that on YouTube because no one's ever talked about it like this before. So I get what you're saying, but it's definitely worth it, and good for John for spending a year of his life putting that thing together. So.
And maybe the Nightline stuff with Ted Koppel and some of the stuff with Sally Jesse Raphael. If you're a YouTuber and
she's hot.
You've watched that, all the power. She was pretty hot. And those guys at the late '80s mustaches and stuff like that, John Holmes guys. Then then it's all regurgitation. But the hours of interviews with Charles Gaines and Charles Gaines' son, and going back to the original survival games and Gramps and Grizzly, you didn't see that stuff before, unless you're some kind of psychic. Like your president.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to change the hat, Todd. You can go back to the original hat.
Yeah, I think I will. I was going to say, hey, I want to take a moment. If you guys have a moment, I want to tell you guys about something that's pretty important to me. Did you guys know that Planned Eclipse, they are the creators of the most incredible tournament paintball markers, soft goods, and gear, and they have the winningest paintball markers in paintball. Now innovators in mechanical actions, including the new M170R and MG 100 MagFed Marble.
Enola Gay is the world's leading manufacturer of smoke grenades, thunderflash, airsoft, and paintball grenades for use in theater, film, and photography. And, of course, paintball. Pull the tab on an EGA or next event.
And Arabs are proudly made in the USA. Their thick welded seams, stainless steel hardware, multiple color options, and layouts are available. The season has been paused, but the 2020 fields can ship right now. So ask for about full color printing, custom logo options. Make sure you customize your next field with Arabs.
Ruthless Paintball Products, guys. Are you going to do it, Matt, or you want me to?
Why not? So Ruthless Paintball Products caters to both professional players and weekend warriors. They have set a new level paintball playing apparel. You can head on over to their website to use our BTB15 promo code for 15% off their products.
And more than just swabs and pads, Exalt is a way of life. Available at discerning retailers, fields, shops, and shows, it is tournament-ready, battle-proven Exalt.
In the beginning, you fall out of a tree, you stumble down a rocky cliff, you wade chest deep through a mosquito-infested bog, then you realize it's party time. You're surrounded, you own a Tippmann. Now combine Empire, JT Tippmann, and V-Force. You get the world's largest distributor of everything paintball, GI Sports.
I like how you inadvertently put an accent on there. DLX Technology, guys, is the manufacturer of the Lux paintball marker, as well as other great product lines like the SP Shocker, GOG Enemy, and the Freak Barrels, just to name a few. A longtime paintball manufacturer, they have the gear that you can trust, and the product's outstanding.
For over 50 years, Altama has proudly carried militaries from across the globe through every challenging environment, including malls, jungles, urban deserts, urban battle zones. Make Altama your next paintball, airsoft, or everyday shoe. Look for Altama Original SWAT at leading retailer near you.
And not all ninjas wear black. With advanced colorways and coatings, adjustable regulators, remote lines, fill stations, hydro testing, and more, Ninja products have what it takes to keep you out front and always in the game. And made in America.
Hey, thank you to all of our great sponsors for helping us out here. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be on the air. I'm going to call Jonathan Rolling out one more time. He says the movie, the documentary, was a GI love fest. I'm going to disagree on that. I think it gave a lot more love to some of the other people in the industry that I really wasn't sure that. I mean, depends on what side of the fence you sit on, I guess. But I don't know. Gavin, you're shaking your head. Do you disagree with my statement?
No. I agree with your statement. I disagree with Jonathan's statement. I thought it was well balanced, and it wasn't one particular manufacturer who sort of dominated. But overall, I thought it was a brilliant documentary. I was very excited about it. I'm excited about owning a copy when it comes out in Blu-ray as well. And I think anybody who has spent some time in the sport and has some interest in the sport, it is definitely going to be a thumbs up, and you're going to enjoy this. Yeah. And I don't want to make this whole program about the documentary, but I think if you love the sport, you want to know the origins of it, and this documentary did a wonderful job of storytelling, the nitty gritty and the celebrations, and it's just something for everybody who loves sport to watch.
Yeah. For sure.
I think GI was only brought up a lot because of the fact it's gone through so many different mutations and been bought and sold so many times.
Well, it wasn't really GI. What it started as PMI.
Yeah,
so if you equate PMI to being GI Sports, which it's so far not, I mean, it's how it originated, but it's kind of like saying PMI is now GI Sports is kind of a stretch. It's like, I don't know. We're not going to argue with it, but watch a documentary and see what you think for yourself. But I will say, if it wasn't for Pearl Mutter and who's the other fellow?
David Freeman.
Paintball may not exist the way it does today. That's for sure. We'd
all be shooting L spots or Splatmasters.
Yeah.
And maybe even still using oil-based paint.
Yes, that's very much true. That's very much true. For as much as what National Survivor Games did to the sport, they didn't do anything to innovate it. They just sort of did whatever it was to sort of what's the word I'm looking? Franchise it? Would that be the better word?
Yeah, that they sort of franchised it and created. I guess they created, turned it into a sport, and then they franchised the sport, but they didn't do a whole lot to innovate it.
Yeah.
There's something else that was left out of the documentary. Sorry, Travis, and you haven't watched it, but maybe this will just nudge you a little bit.
He's probably watching it right now while we're ignoring him.
I'm watching it while you're talking.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. But some of the other paint manufacturers, now that I think about it, really were mentioned, like California Magnum, and I don't know if Travis even remembers. There's a company in Long Island, New York, called Bullseye Paint, and he had like metallic filled paints. You would shoot this gold and silver paint, and it would burst with little flecks of sparkly everywhere. That was a magnetic. And he also had a glow-in-the-dark paintball that actually glowed in the dark. I think his name was George, if I recall. So that's Bullseye, and he was in Long Island.
Yeah.
Some more trivia.
Yeah. Well, I remember Bullseye, and I remember CalMag. CalMag was pretty popular in our little area, so...
That's what we shot up here for a while. We were shooting CalMag. It was really fantastic. People argue that it would knock you out and break, but it would fly through the tree branches and hit and break, and it'd leave a beautiful, vibrant feel that washed out every time.
Yeah. So here's a question that I want to ask you, Travis, and I've been wanting to do this all show, but now I can do it because I see someone in the live chat. So we're good friends with Cody Chong. Can you tell me, was that a forced player on you? Like, did you lose a bet, or what was the circumstance?
It was a government mandate. We had to have one international player and someone from Canada.
So like a rebate program.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We got like a ton of maple syrup in the mail, so we're stocked.
Sorry, Cody.
And you pay them in Canadian dollars, so you're saving like 30% on every dollar anyway. So it's good value for you.
It's great. It's great. I love the exchange rate right now. It's good. We can't travel across the border yet, so that's not good. But you know.
No, Cody's a good sport. He's in our area. He's helped me out in the past by working with me doing some commentary for our local league and stuff. And I'm glad to see that he found a good home. So that's.
I remember playing against his dad in the mid '80s. Dave Chong, when he played for like one of the first really organized teams up here called the Terminators. And I remember playing against those guys back in the day. And their home field was RLD, which was on a farm, and they were in Brooklyn. And they had the first speedball field in Canada, and it was all skids and stuff.
And as you were saying before off air, even his dad was a chump.
Hey, come on.
I'm just kidding. I'm only putting words in Joe's mouth. We do like the Chongs.
Why are you going to be like that?
I don't know, because I can and he can't respond.
So, you know what? And Todd, you can mute my mic if I'm going into territory I shouldn't be. So we talked a little bit about the history of paintball, where it grew, and on the sort of the context of today's environment and China, what do you think the future paintball is going to look like in terms of manufacturing, in terms of goods, or thoughts?
Is that to me?
Yeah, you said Todd, but you meant Travis.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking to Todd to say, please interrupt me if you think this is going south.
Talk to Travis.
But Travis, so we were, as an industry, we're pretty heavily dependent on the cheap manufacturing in China. So where do you think we're going to go now? As sort of, we're all stuck, right?
To India.
No, I mean, to be honest, I would say that China had been predominantly like, the biggest manufacturer of whatever for the world, really. But there's other places too that are producing items, and you've seen different brands rely on Mexico or Pakistan or China or wherever. You know what I mean? It's there's enough diversification right now. I would say that, like, if you were fully dependent on China when the corona hit at first, you were probably hurting pretty bad because they were shut down for a couple months, but they're back online. Stuff's moving. It's slower, but it's moving. So I would say I think it'll be all right.
And then you have to also be careful because China also closes down for like what seems to be 6 weeks or something for like New Year's and holidays, right?
Yeah, they get hammered.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 6
line.
weeks, but it's a long time.
Yeah, it's the good part of a month for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think more production will come back domestically, or do you think it'll still be outsourced? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think anything that can be brought back right now is probably being, there is factories popping up kind of everywhere. But what you'll see is prices go up because, it's just that cheap labor that doesn't translate. So, if the market would bear that, and if made in Canada or made in the USA or whatever, if that means something to the end user and they'll pay more money for it, we'll see.
Yeah.
I suspect there's going to be a change in sort of appetite for that now, right? I mean, we have this big lust for cheap products, but I think both countries, the world, is really seeing the value in making sure their own people are employed, made in whatever country stamp is, and really supporting that. So I think the consumer, at least moving forward, and I can be completely wrong, they're willing to absorb a little bit extra cost when we move forward, knowing that things are made domestically.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Can we have a bit of a sidebar here? I want to bring up something here, guys. This Monday night, we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to have Russell Jackson and Tim Montresor on to talk about ICC and everything else in paintball. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And we haven't had an opportunity to play any games here on the show. Are you guys up for something tonight? Yeah,
Anything
thumbs up on Matt.
would be great, yeah.
What did you say? Anything that's what? Irritating?
Anything entertaining would be great.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm bored to tears right now.
Well, I have not. Oh, that's nice. How do you think I feel? Matt, can you keep score? You can because I can't have you play along since these are some of your these are some of your
You mean all?
All of them are yours. Yeah. So here's what's going to happen, guys. We're going to play a little bit of Price is Right, and we're going to watch you guys at home in the live chat. What we're going to do is we're going to post up ads that Matt found sold on eBay. These are items that have been sold on eBay, and they're all paintball stuff. And all you need to do is bid. Closest bid without going over wins, and you guys can compete against Joe, Gavin, and Travis here. All you got to do is put your bid in the live chat. Here's an example, and I'll put it full screen for you guys watching at home. What would you guys think that this sold for? It is a Tech T Tippmann 101 Tech DVD. Fix any Tippmann paintball marker just by watching this DVD. You guys remember what DVDs were? Well,
Yes.
This is what it is. So this sold on eBay. The lucky seller of this was able to sell it in the time that it was required. But how much did he sell it for was the key thing. Gavin, you won last time, but Travis is our guest tonight, so we should probably let him go first. Travis, how much do you think this sold for?
So sold for back in the day or sold like
Today. This is hot off of
Today.
eBay sell list.
$2.99.
What? This is a DVD in a case.
$2.99.
You know how many people own Tippmann Model 98s?
$2.99, and then
All
the
right.
shipping. Put it in there.
All right. Total price is
I'm going to ask everyone else.
Well, no. I haven't said what it was. The shipping's a whole other story. We're just talking about what it sold for. Joe, what are you thinking?
Box.
What?
$8.
$8. All right. Gavin, what are you thinking? George Hay says $9.99. Robert Henson $25, and Leon West says $50. I think, Leon, we're talking U.S. currency, or the crack you're smoking is really good. Same with John, $500. Yeah, really, eh? $15
All right, so
says.
my bid for this delicious piece of paintball history and DVD, I will say a good $10, Bob.
$10. Brent Davis from Air Ups Paintball says $5, Bob. All right. If you guys are good with your selling, this sold for $19.99. I think
this year.
A week ago. Gavin wins it.
Gun, I don't think, right?
What's that?
Do they still make that gun?
The Model 98? There's only probably 6 or 7 out in the industry.
All right, good.
Well, who won?
So
Sorry,
that-
I had the
so
yellow
that-
card.
Do they still make DVD players? Like this?
No, but it'll be streaming to Netflix next week. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gavin wins that one, but what about this one here, ladies and gentlemen? It's a paintball SP1 paintball gun. SP1. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, and this may or may not hinder the price of it, but this is a custom paint job on it. This is a tan paintball gun with an undermount flashlight and a red dot scope on it. And I don't know, Joe, maybe you can help me. Is that car stock original?
No, I don't think they came with a car stock. That's
Certainly not the drop forward.
It's got a Smart Parts barrel on it. So you can see a little gel on it.
I don't know how you can shoot that gun without a drop forward, so good for him for putting one on, because that's important, I think. What do you guys...
On a remote.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, you could put a remote right on the regular.
But with that drop forward, you need an even longer remote.
That's
Is that
true.
a plane drop or is that regular drop?
Just a regular drop.
Looks
Just
like
a
little
regular
mini
drop.
Die drop.
But when
If
you
it was
refer to a
flame
drop
that would be to the next stratosphere. I'm telling you.
But when you refer to a drop forward, you can't just say regular, because there's no such thing as a regular drop forward. All right, what do you
Plane
guys
drop or
think?
Standard.
Well, yeah. So, Gavin, you won that last one. How much do you think this sold for? George Hayes says $125. Carolyn Wilbank says $150, Bob. And Charles Holton says $11.75.
I will go a little higher than that. I will say $100 even, Bob.
Wow. John is saying 250 Australian dollars. I'm not sure what that equates to in US dollars.
Australian money's similar to Canadian.
Okay. Worthless. All right. And then Travis, what are you thinking? How much would you spend on this? And don't get excited. There's not enough for it to outfit your team. This is just a single one.
Listen, is that legal in Canada, that gun right there?
The stock is not. You'd have to take it off and put on a pop bottle.
Yeah. All right, Travis, you're a guest this evening, so I will let this. You know what? No, Todd, you just need to stop too. This is hard times in our country.
All right, so listen, if a $2 DVD went for $20, I don't know. Let's call this gun $3.99 because the world's upside down.
This is eBay, so you could be drastically right or drastically wrong.
What did Gavin say? $100?
Yep.
I'm gonna say $220.
Okay. Richie Rampage Santos says $90. Charles Holton $200. John $65 Canadian, and Ryan McGee $125. Bob, this sold for a whopping $130.
Ooh, Gavin.
Gavin's still waiting, but did Gavin get it again?
Mm-hmm.
God. Okay. Gavin knew we were doing this, and he scoured eBay today looking for looking for things to study.
That's what I do. What else am I going to do with my time?
All right, well, then let's throw you off here. In honor of Tom K., who we had on the show just the other show, this here is a PTF Micro E-Mag 2000 paintball gun. This is, one can only say, purple.
More of a lilac, but yeah.
Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Gavin, you're going to have to start the bid on this one.
All right. Well, I don't have my color wheel out, but I will agree with the lilac interpretation from our friend Joe. I'm going to say $350 for this bad boy.
$350, eh? Okay. John's saying $250 in the live chat. What do you think, Travis? Did you ever shoot an E-Mag in your day, or even an Auto Mag in your day?
Yeah, I loved Auto Mags back in the day. I was probably the last guy to switch to a cocker on my team.
No, come on. We had Bud Orr and Tom K on the show last week, and they both agreed that autococker's better. You heard it.
I actually watched that show, and it was cool. And I really wanted to hear some stuff that like Tom K was like going to say, because he did so much cool, innovating things that I was like, I just want to pay attention. Yeah.
We're going to have Tom K back on the show because we felt that neither of them had enough real airtime. We kind of just always wanted to have them back on the show together. And I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen, but we released another show that after the live show, we kept recording, and it was our 25 minutes after the show that we just shot the shit with them. And we asked them the questions that we wanted to know, but we didn't want to air because we felt that maybe they didn't want to answer it on the show. We didn't want to put them on the spot. And it's pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. Might be worth watching maybe before the paintball documentary.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to go. Wait, so Gavin's been right twice in a row here. You said 350, and I can't go over, right?
You can go. You can't go over the selling price, but you can go over his bid because, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, all right. Let's go $399.
$399. Joe, what are you thinking?
That's my number.
I don't know. Look at the barrels, freaking Armson. It's got a dye boomstick that's anodized. This is aftermarket anodizing, you can tell.
Super trendy.
I've been wrong twice in a row. I'm gonna say $450.
$450.
Wow, you guys way lowballed this thing. This is a Protein Products E-Mag. There's nothing.
Listen, Matt's gonna get upset with you guys.
I'm angry.
Look at Travis.
Really
okay,
we ruined it Saturday.
Travis is drinking Modelo. He's got the budget. He should know what this is worth. This sold for $1,200
US. Wow.
US $1,200. Welcome to eBay, my friends, where you either get screwed or rich. All right, let's do one more. We'll do it real quick, super quick. And let me see if I can find it here. This, and I'll go full screen for those of you watching at home. This is a used Smart Parts SP, not 1, but SP8 paintball gun with a custom Woodsball camo paint job, as you can clearly see. Has a Lapco drop forward No stock, but it does have a red dot. That's pretty snipery. So who won that? Joe, you did.
I did, yes.
All right, let's see.
165.
Okay, Jonathan Rollins says $50, and you said 175. Okay, going clockwise, Travis, I guess. What are you thinking?
$59.
50. Really? Listen to you, Mr. Moneybag. Okay, Gavin, what do you think?
I'll do 100 even, Bob.
Ooh. Wow. Same with Carolyn Wilbanks agrees. This is $100. George Hayes says $110. This sold for $219.95. It came down to the pennies, guys. They were bidding on this one. There was a bidding war. You don't get custom woodland markers just anywhere. Oh, boy.
We have a tie between Joe and Gavin right now.
No, do we really?
Yeah, 2-2.
All right. Well, then let's do one
That's okay. Next
super.
week I'll say I won anyway. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Winner
all right.
Takes all.
Super quick.
Yeah.
We always check in to see what the temperature is on this. This here is a Sheridan K-Series paintball gun.
It's in good shape.
It's in really good shape. You can still see that
See
the
the
sticker was
sticker?
on it. The sticker looks like it's still on there, just faded all the way through. The plastic retaining screws for the tanks are still there, and I've never seen 2 per ring before. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
what do
they
you
added
guys...
them after.
So who won that last one, Matt?
Joe.
Joe did. Okay. So, Joe, you have to bid first. What are you thinking on this?
300.
Travis? What are you thinking?
700.
700. Good for you.
That's wood grain right there.
Yeah.
Might be a veneer.
No. You start a fire with that thing.
Yeah, you can really butt stock somebody, too. Gavin, what are you thinking?
Sorry, Joe. I'm going 400.
What did I say? 350?
300.
You said 300, so
That's fine.
400.
All right, so we have a new champion for this week, and it's $450 sale price.
It's a steal.
That's Gavin. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for playing Price is Right. We're going to have some more of that over the next couple of weeks, and yeah. Travis, what are you guys shooting? I didn't even ask you this with going through all this, but what do you? I know personally, but what are you guys shooting this year?
So I should just have like a little shameless plug right here.
Yeah. It's all about the shameless plug.
I got an office sitting in these are bad boys. Planet Eclipse. We've been Planet Eclipse for a long time, but this is our the infamous edition. It's got the milled in skull, CS2 Pro. So
yeah.
That's what we've been shooting. And
the only downside with the Milden skull is when you buttstock somebody with the back of your gun, you can tell which team it was from.
Is.
Yeah.
And honestly, like when we've been playing the 10-man mech stuff, we've been using just the EMEX, and we trick them out with our triggers and little things like that. But for the most part, it's legit just the EMEX. It's a great gun. I am stoked because they have a single trigger coming for the CS2. So
yes, I was going to say at Extravaganza we saw that. I'm not going to lie to you. If I were to play the 10-man, I'd probably grab myself an M170R. Those are pretty badass for sure. We all enjoyed shooting that one.
Yeah. We some of the guys do have those. It's just you know how these pro guys are. They're flipping guns every 10 seconds. So it's like, oh, we need a gun for the event. We need an EMEC. You know what I mean? So
I used to say this to some of the young kids. We used to have several camps in our thing here. I always used to say, how are you going to get better if you always kept rotating your gun? Stay with the gun that you have. Learn and train on it for as long as you can, unless it's the same gun, same company, and you're just kind of trading out colors.
And it's new. It's now a hashtag that will be trending. Shooting geometry.
And hashtag frangibility for the yes. Yeah. So, well, we're getting close to the end of the hour here. Travis, thank you for being on the show. Do you guys know, little known fact, that Travis Lemanski was one of the first outside people to be on Behind the Bunker? I believe he was on the second or third episode of our show. We've told Travis that before, and whether he cares to know that or not, he holds a special place in that. And Behind the Bunker has been around for a few years, going on 8 now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Great show.
Yeah, that's back when Travis used to be handsome and young and spry.
And the last time he's on the show. Thank you.
Hey, Travis, are you a question? Are you guys still using Nike for footwear? And that's like a sponsorship from actually Nike, is it?
Yeah, correct. They're a big supporter of the team. They support a handful of the pro teams out there. One of the marketing VPs is actually like a huge paintball fan.
That's great.
And I won't throw his name out there so you guys don't bombard him with stuff. But he loves paintball and just wants to see it kind of grow. And so he gives sort of. I don't know if you guys saw, but he like made custom shoes for like X Factor when they won the world championship. And
it's fantastic.
So they're just a really cool dude, great company. Obviously they make the best cleats, so it's like perfect.
I've always thought that they should make they could just use one of their normal shoes, but they brand it specifically for paintball and they call it the Snake. And all the swooshes are Velcro, so you can change your swoosh to match the color of your jersey and the color of your gun. So you can send that to him.
I'll write it down.
You can write it down. And is he the same guy that does the Nike makes also some military boots too that are pretty lightweight and cool? I don't know if you've seen those.
Oh yeah, like the ACG, or are you talking about the?
No, it's
like the military.
The military one. It's pretty cool. They're very compliant and everything too, so they're neat.
Yeah.
Right on. Can you wear those in Canada?
You can wear them in Canada. They're not restricted.
Not yet.
Not yet. They might be though.
Yeah, not yet. It'll be interesting. Well, if Nike ever wants to be a part of a live paintball show every week on Monday nights, they can certainly. We really whore ourselves out, don't we? So thank you, Travis. Thank you, Travis, for being on the show. We didn't actually get an opportunity to tell you guys, but make sure you guys head on over. Where should we send them to have them have a look at the new tanks that you guys have, the new Silencio barrel? Where?
Yeah, infamouspaintball.com.
There you go. There you go.
All right there.
Yeah. So, guys, go check that out. And FNDN, if you guys are looking for some technical wear. Sorry, what did you call it? It wasn't technical wear. It was
wearable tech.
Wearable. Jesus Christ. All right. So, wearable tech. There you go. Very good.
Is there a smartwatch app for the wearable tech to adjust the volume in with your iPhone or your Apple Watch? Can you adjust the temperature with your
some of the newer products we have like apps for, but that's more like the biometric, like the heart rate sensors and those type of things. But just making it hot or cold, it's a button.
Yeah,
I think it's easier than pulling out your phone.
And I've done some research,
But on the vest that I have from FNDN, it says that it's compatible with Apple iPhone's a 13, so I'm still waiting. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
Oh, and Todd, Carolyn Wilbanks asked, where can I watch past episodes?
You can't. As soon as they're done, we burn them, and we act as if they don't happen. You can go back really on YouTube, search for Behind the Bunker and subscribe. You can go on Facebook. All of our shows are live on Facebook. You can go back. And really, if you want to listen to them, they're up as podcasts. As soon as we're done, we put them up as podcasts. The next morning, you'll find them. So any show that we've ever done in the last 3 years are now up in podcast form, including the great episode with Bud Orr and Tom Kay. Yeah, and everything. This episode with Travis will be up tomorrow morning as well. So go and download them anywhere you get your favorite podcast from.
And remember, #shooting geometry.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let you guys go at home. Matt, any last final words?
Not really, but I've been intrigued by these socks. Really considering ordering them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as soon as the border opens up, we'll send you guys some socks.
Just don't turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Assault socks. I won't call them assault socks or anything weird.
But
yeah.
They do have Travis is working on a new version of the sock, so you can just put it around your canteen cup and hit heat, and it will actually boil water.
There you go. Joe, thank you for being on the program tonight.
Thanks very much for tuning in and watching tonight, guys and girls, and we'll see everybody Monday night at 8 p.m. for some more Behind the Bunker.
Yeah. Gavin Sharma, TerraTech Industries.
Wonderful to be here, folks. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday, your quarantine Saturday. Travis, thank you so much for lending us your time. You're very generous with that. And again, as Joe said, Todd said, and Matt said, we're back here Monday for our live show. So join us at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. We'll have
Daylight Time, Eastern Daylight Time.
That's right. And we'll have Russell Jackson and Tim Montresor from DLX. We're going to be talking about ICC and everything else that's in their world, so stay tuned for that as well. Travis, thank you so much for being on the show. I know you had other better things to do.
So much stuff going on right now. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Very good. Don't go anywhere, guys. Don't go anywhere, you guys that are on Zoom with me, but everyone else, we'll see you on Monday night. Thanks for watching.